Me. Life-changing orthopedic excellence at Shriners Children's. The most amazing...
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the K&M telecast. I'm Phil in the blanc. It's French. You should try one of our wines. My family has a winery. It's called the In de Blanc Vinery. Vinasserie. I don't even know if that's how you say vino. That's like Italian. Is that French too? Levi? I don't know how to say wine. Beaujolais? Jolie? No, Beaujolais? No, Beaujolais? I don't know. That's French something. It's positive, I think. Anyways, we're going to start off with a little bit of a tribute to our good friend, Captain Jacques Cousteau, who passed away many years ago. And we're going to get into this with, who the hell do we got? Josh Duhamel from Shotgun Wedding. I heard that was a terrible movie. Brianne, Howey, don't know who she is. Sounds like she's married to the guy from Shameless. And Jordan Fisher from Sweeney Todd, who knows who that is. But they like Sweeney Todd, so they're going to put someone on and ask him questions to try to boost his star, right? All right, you guys. Give me that pity like, smash everything, and tell your friends and give me a dislike.
Orthopedic excellence at Shriners Children's.
Enjoy the show, my mystery fan that always likes to watch for some odd reason.
Lake County, Illinois.
Let's go, take a ride with me. Let's go, say goodbye to the worries on your mind. Not the worries when you're by my side.
All right, Indiana Jones. Oh, here we go.
Today, straight from the big screen, Josh Duhamel. And Ginny and Georgia star, Brianne Howey. Plus, actor, singer, and dancer, Jordan Fisher. And Ryan Seacrest takes the seat next to Kelly. All next on Live. And now, here are Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest.
Morning, Deja. Light switch.
Welcome. It's Friday, June 30th.
Ooh, it's bad luck. It's Friday the 30th.
Oh.
Watch out for Jason and
Are there
Freddy
only
Krueger.
30 days in June when we clearly need 31 days in every 1 month.
Well, that cold one, we get a favor in the cold one, February, because
We're
there's
not going to
a few
get
days.
less
That's
menstrual
nice.
periods.
February lasts 5 weeks longer than it should, as far as I'm concerned.
Can you remember your dream from last night, or did you dream last night? Do you remember anything?
I very rarely do I remember my dreams. Very rarely.
Do you think of something when you're trying to fall asleep and then write it down next to your bed so that you remember it the next day?
Sometimes.
Do you ever turn something upside down because you don't have a pen and paper next to your bed to remind you that you thought of something the next day?
I've got to get it down because that won't work for me. I either write it down in real time or it is gone forever. And
Why is that cup upside down?
Yeah, I can say I
no.
was trying to
You're a little
remind
crazy,
myself
Ryan.
of
Of
something.
something, but what was that something? There's a flaw in the system.
Yeah, the something is gone. Why?
So,
Why do you ask? What item
Why
did
even bring
Yeoman
this
give
up?
you to ask me about?
So
A survey
I
said-
remember he comes in with this item about
A recent
dreaming
study.
about your colleagues. Hey, you ever dream about your colleagues? Doesn't mean anything bad. Just you're dreaming about your colleagues. Why? Because they're people you see every day. You have work relationships with them. So I remember my dream last night because when he brought this in, I actually remember my dream. I was trying to get to JFK on a Schwinn bicycle. And I was wondering how to get there because I've never gone to JFK on a bike. So I needed my Waze. So I typed in JFK in my Waze, and someone was on the back. I was taking somebody with me on the trip. But I think it was a work trip, so I wanted to make the flight. And I couldn't get signal. I had no signal to get Waze. And so I had all this panic that I was going to miss the flight. I should have been panicked about why I was on a Schwinn.
This is so layered. I can analyze this dream until the cows come home.
And then
How much time do you have?
It reminded me of I had a Schwinn as a kid. I mean, all these things sort of intersect. Anyway, that was my dream last night. But they say this survey about people and their dreams of colleagues revealed that more than half of employees admit to dreaming about work regularly. The most common work-related dream is about being late for work.
Oh, yeah.
But they go on to say it's a common anxiety dream that people experience this dream when they feel not good enough at their job, or no matter how much they put in, they still can't feel like they're giving enough. The second most researched work dream. 1,500 searches every month globally is about getting into trouble at work. So another anxiety dream, according to this survey, is to vent your anger about things in your dreams. So whatever.
Never have that problem when you're your own boss. So never had those dreams. I'm always like with celebrities getting into trouble
at work. So another anxiety dream, according to this survey, is to vent your anger about things in your dreams.
Put in the comments section. What do you dream about?
Whatever rage or whatever
Let's
you
share
may
with
feel,
each other. Become a community.
You get it all out in your dream, but you don't get it all out at work. Have you ever done that? The opposite.
No, I don't really dream about work.
They say you dream about promotions as well, and specifically the people who can give you that, open the door for that promotion. You don't dream about work?
No.
I wonder if it's because we get to talk about things at work that are life,
yes,
right?
We're
so this
always
is like
we're getting it out. And
Here.
Also, it's like there's nothing more anxiety inducing than talking publicly for a living, which I've convinced myself I don't do. Because when I have to give a speech or like a presentation, when we have to present an award, we're like a shambles.
Yeah.
So, interesting article on health and wellness and washing our clothes. Because, you know me, I'm a laundress.
Of all the dresses, you're the laundress, yes.
I'm somebody that enjoys doing laundry.
You like it. Do you find it therapeutic? You actually get very excited when we do laundry segments on the show.
It's my favorite. It's the only segment I feel like we should do.
I'm not great at laundry.
By the way, the laundry guy would have been very proud of me. I'm not going to name names. I won't name names. But I found a suitcase filled with soaking wet, slightly mildewed laundry from a wrestling tournament. But I'm not going to name names.
Could be any of the kids.
Could be any of the kids, but it was from a wrestling tournament. And Mark said, "You're just going to have to throw that away." And I said, "Oh, no, I don't.
You're going to save it.
I'm going to save this laundry." He goes, "There's no bringing that back." And I Distensified, revived, saved, laundered, resuscitated. And one of my kids, not going to name names, but he said to me, "Mom, how did you fix my laundry?" And I go, "More importantly, why did you leave it in your suitcase?" And he said he was so embarrassed that it was there that he just thought that he could ignore it away and that somehow it would just, I don't know,
dry out.
It would somehow evaporate. It would, its own dirt and filth would sort of
I think in my early days of working, going to the gym and leaving my bag in the trunk, I too know that stench, and I would reuse probably when I shouldn't. And they're saying that that's all just dangerous, right?
It's not even about that. It's about what to wash and where and how often you should wash. A lot of people are saying pajamas, jeans, things like that. People tend to wash them and they don't really need to.
Jeans especially, right?
Yeah, jeans, I never wash my jeans, ever. I fold them, I put them in a brown paper bag, and I put them in the freezer. And that is allegedly supposed to detoxify.
So your jeans and your cast iron, right? You're not supposed to do a lot of...
That's correct. Okay. Pajamas, on the other hand, I have to wash my pajamas.
Well, because you shed.
It's not even shedding. It's
body juices.
Depending on your level of sweat.
It's body juices from different orifices that get into your pajamas.
But people tend to overwash things and
I will say real quick, just think about how much you fart into your pajama pants.
I understand that.
Yeah. But people tend to overwash things and over-hygiene themselves because they said, especially in America, we have the luxury of being able to do that stuff all the time.
If I do a low-impact workout and don't sweat in my favorite shorts, I will wear those shorts again for a sweaty workout. I'm just telling you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Daring. Nope.
Oh, Art, you don't roll your eyes at that. You knew that.
Faith was telling me, Faith Ford was telling me.
Can I hear
something
Faith
really-
Ford?
Yeah. Faith was like, Kelly, you know what I do? We have our outside clothes and our inside clothes, and our outside clothes remain outside. I mean, you can change into your inside clothes inside the house, but the outside clothes remain by the front door, and then I pick them up and wash them because it can't be too short.
Hey, we have a great show for today. Josh Duhamel is here.
Jordan Fisher's also here.
Very impressive. And from Ginny in Georgia, Brianne Howey is here as well.
Dr. Wendy Brazilian, simple tips for easy ways to boost your nutrition.
But right now, Kel, it's time for Live's Brighten Your Day Trivia.
Fuck you guys. The hell.
About what to wash and where and how often you should wash. Over hygiene themselves because they said, especially in America, we have the luxury of being able to do that stuff all the time.
If I do a low impact workout and don't sweat in my favorite shorts, I will wear those shorts again for a sweaty workout.
You fucking pig.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Nope.
Oh, Art, you don't.
Art, you don't work out.
Nope.
Oh, Art, you don't roll your eyes at that. You knew that.
Faith was telling me, Faith Ford was telling me.
Can I hear
something
Faith
really-
Ford?
Yeah. Faith was like, Kelly, you know what I do? We have our outside clothes and our inside clothes, and our outside clothes remain outside. I mean, you can change into your inside clothes inside the house, but the outside clothes remain by the front door, and then I pick them up and wash them because it can't be too short.
Hey, we have a great show for today. Josh Duhamel is here.
Jordan Fisher's also here.
Very impressive. And from Ginny in Georgia, Brianne Howey is here as well.
Dr. Wendy Brazilian has simple tips for easy ways to boost your nutrition.
But right now, Kel, it's time for Live's Brighten Your Day Trivia.
That's that was our trivia dancer, John Moore from Washington.
John, thank you for sending that in. So let's get to our caller here. Ove, is it Ove Carlson from Endicott, New York, who watches us on WIVT? Good morning.
That's correct. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good
Great. First
morning.
Ove we've met. Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing very good. And you're right, we have met.
We have?
We have?
Absolutely. We were at the show with our grandson Ryan several years ago, and you actually came over and met him, shook his hand, gave me a hug, and my wife also, and we just had a nice visit with you.
Aw. That's so...
The other Ryan.
Yes. The other...
Exactly, the
Yes.
other Ryan.
That's correct.
Ove, it is great to reconnect with you. Now that I hear your voice, I do remember this very tender moment. Now listen, you've given us two statements. One is true, one is false. If you stump us, you'll win the coveted mug. And here are the statements Kelly Ripa. Number one, the luckiest day of my life was April 24th, 1965. Or
What happened that
I won
day? Tell us.
$10,000 worth of merchandise from a local department store. Let's start the clock.
Oh, what
Okay, first impression guess, put in the comments section. The luckiest day of my life was April 24th. That means that this person we're talking to that you showed was 57 years old, 58 years old. If he was born that day, he'd be 58. So he's got to be like at least 65.
You remember this very tender moment.
Let's see what this guy looks like. Is this an old picture? Well, I guess he could be like 65 or 70.
And you
he must have
actually
been a kid. Something must have happened. He must have met like Mickey Mantle and like picked up $100 off the ground. Got his first kiss or something. All right. I'd say that would be the truth because he wants to relive it and tell the story on national television and record himself telling the story so he can have it in the archives for his grandkids after he dies.
One is true.
Probably
One
get
is
murdered by like some burglar.
If you stump us, you'll win
the other one, let's see what that is. I think that's what it is. Plus, he knows that like with Ryan there, Ryan's not going to try to win. Ryan's going to lose on purpose. So he's going to do a great job telling the story, and then this one, the lie, he's going to like do a bad job to kind of say wink, wink. This is clearly the wrong story. This is
worth of merchandise from a local department store. Let's start the clock.
This is clearly the lie. This is going to be the lie. My first impression, guess this is a lie, and he's going to make it obvious with his storytelling that this is the lie. So to give them hints to help him win. So I'm going to say that it's true that the luckiest day of his life was April 24th, 1965, but I guess that they are going to guess that once won $10,000 of merchandise from a local store is a lie. To lose on purpose, or is the truth to lie on purpose. So lying is good, or guessing wrong is good.
Department store. Let's start the clock.
What happened on April 24th, 1965?
I got laid.
That's the day that I married the love of my life, Joyce.
Okay, so $10,000 worth of merchandise from a local store. What was in that package of merchandise?
It was one of those deals where they were putting a new location in our area here, and we could choose what we wanted up to $10,000. So they sell furniture, appliances, TVs,
so it was
washers,
a shopping
dryers,
spree.
etc.
What did you choose?
We got a new couch. We were, as a matter of fact, looking for a new washer. So we got a washer.
Why?
We said, well, let's go get a dryer. And so we got a couple of lamps.
Do you like to do laundry?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to guess this.
Here's the one problem I had. Let's just say he got married when he was 20. That would mean that he is like 78 years old. In that picture, he looks very young for 78. He looks like he's like maybe 70 to 73 years old, maybe 74, even if 75. So I'm thinking this might be a true story, but the date might be the lie. Because if that picture then has to be 5 or 6 years old or 7 years old, but even he doesn't even sound like a 78-year-old. But what do you know about people? You could meet a 90-year-old that, as long as they don't have any, I don't know why he would lie about his wife getting married to his wife being the luckiest day. Is he going to say, we're going to say that the truth is that the luckiest day of my life was April 24th? And you're going to say, nope, that was a lie. Marrying my wife wasn't the luckiest day. Just wanted to broadcast that to the country. Have it documented. Honestly, I feel like based on his speech patterns that I would change my answer and say this is a lie. Maybe he just moved the year off by like 5 years or something, and I'll say that's the lie. But he should know, especially if it was Mark, I would make this a lie. But with Ryan, you shouldn't make that the lie because they're gonna guess that's the truth. They're gonna guess that's the lie to help you win, and then it will be the lie. You're gonna play yourself. You played yourself. So my official guess, my first impression guess was this one. I'm gonna say my official guess is that I'm gonna stick with this is the truth. The luckiest day of my life was April 24th, 1965. That was my first impression guess. It's also my final guess. You can't lie about marrying your wife being lucky, especially when you're so close to death.
So we're gonna guess this. We're gonna guess this true. For the month, we're gonna guess this true. You won $10,000 worth of merchandise. Is that true, Ove?
No.
Great, we got it. Congratulations on the luckiest day of your life.
I knew Ove would not lie about that.
We'll spin the wheel to see what you're playing for here.
It's all rigged now. You're losing on purpose. It's not helping you lose on purpose.
Okay, you're playing for a $1,000 appliance package from Cuisinart. You have 20 seconds, Ove, and only one guess. Good luck.
Okay, Ove, we've had actress Madeline Klein on the show.
Oh,
what did
38C.
Madeline say? What town? What town did Madeline say she's from?
She's from Canada, Ottawa.
What county?
Madeline Klein. 10 seconds.
Where was Madeline Klein
New
born?
York.
No.
Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Oh,
That's all right. We've got good news.
Yeah, you're still going to win a
It says
$500
Charleston.
appliance package from Cuisinart, and you'll now be entered into our grand.
it's a fucking lie. Goose Creek. Oh yeah, the creek, man. Welcome to the Goose.
New York.
No.
Sorry, I missed
so
that.
sorry. It's not.
Could you
It's
say it
Goose
again,
Creek,
please?
South Carolina. That's all right. We've got good news.
Yeah, you're still going to win a $500 appliance package from Cuisinart, and you'll now
Well, I don't
be
want
entered
it.
into our grand prize drawing for $5,000 in cash.
Oh, wow, great.
Oh, thank you for continuing to watch our show. You take good care, okay?
It's not your show anymore, Ryan.
I like it. We'll be right back with Josh Duhamel after this.
Still ahead on Live from the series Ginny and Georgia, Brianne Howey, Jordan Fisher. Dr. Whitney Bazillion is here with tips to help boost your nutrition. And coming up next, Josh Duhamel.
I said I'm gonna turn you on like a light switch, make you come all over my clothes, turn you off like a light bitch. Oh, this movie's supposed to be really bad.
Now on, visit sandals.com.
Jurassic Quest is back and bigger than ever. See life-size animatronic dinosaurs, walking dinos, baby dinos, and so much more. Starting July 14th in Grayslake. Tickets are flying fast. Buy in advance at JurassicQuest.com.
Tahini is as unique as those who enjoy it. Tahini, the irresistible blend of chili, lime, and sea salt. As unique as you. Tahini makes what's bueno more bueno. Tahini it.
He's a film and television actor who's starring in the upcoming romantic comedy Shotgun Wedding. Please welcome back to the show the very talented, very handsome Josh Duhamel.
Not over Zoom.
Yeah.
It's been a while
You
since I've been.
tied the knot since we
I
saw you
have.
last.
Yeah, you got a picture right there. Look at
It's
that,
a
Brandon.
beautiful wedding photo.
Thank you.
That looks like,
Very debonair, right? Long tail in the back.
yeah, I love that.
I had my own. What do you call it? A train with the
It's called
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
I had
You
my
got
own.
your own
I had
train.
my own little
Train.
train
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah.
That was Fonzie.
But
Fonzie.
Fonzie, yeah.
Fonzie.
you almost didn't make it to have your
I
train,
didn't.
right?
I did. It was. We had a little bit too much fun the night before.
Okay.
We had the rehearsal dinner with the band. We had a band because it's all about having fun, and it's like a big party for me. That's what I wanted, was a big festive sort
Yeah,
of.
of course.
And so after the rehearsal dinner, we get in this party bus, head back to the thing, and I'm trying to do some crazy. I don't know what I was trying to do. Something gymnastics like inside the bus.
Always the party
And
bus.
threw my back out. I knew at the time I was like, ooh, that's not going to be good in the morning. Sure enough, I couldn't get out of bed.
Was
the
it
next
like
day.
a disc or something?
Yeah. You look so disappointed in me, right?
I'm just thinking about, of all the things that have happened. You had to go to the ER,
Dude.
right, to get a shot,
Yeah.
so you could get married.
A shot of what?
So I could walk down the aisle.
Well, so they gave you like a.
I literally couldn't get out of. I got out of bed that morning. I was like, oh my god! And I literally had to have
Right.
people hold me up.
Do you think your wife was having second thoughts at that
Oh
point?
yeah.
The guy has a low pain threshold.
This one
I'm not
could-
so sure if I
Maybe
can-
he's a lemon. I don't know.
There's already a pretty hefty age difference between them. So, oh my god, what did I get myself into? And then the morning after the wedding, I couldn't get out of bed again. So they shot me up for the wedding. I was good to go. I was dancing the whole thing, and then I couldn't get out of bed the next.
Well,
morning.
that's great. You just got
So
married.
she
You want to spend time with your
had
wife.
to wheelchair me back to
man.
the ER. She's like, "Oh my god, what did I get?" Like,
Very, very romantic.
So she was Miss North Dakota, right?
she was.
And are y'all spending time in North Dakota? Is that where you are?
A lot of time. Spent a lot of time there. Yeah.
It's pronounced North Dakota.
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
That's
We
where
spent
you.
a lot of time in Fargo, and I have a cabin in Minnesota. I spend
Oh,
much time.
fun.
I would live
Do you
there.
ice fish?
I do.
No kidding.
I do.
And is that challenging?
Not really. It's more of a good example is my uncle Lanny he likes to ice fish, and he sent me a picture a couple years ago that has like 12 crushed beer cans, one tiny fish that says another successful day of ice. So
you like to swim in the cold water?
We were just talking about this.
You do.
So it's become a bit of a tradition at our place. We have New Year's out at that cabin every year now. And what I do is I take a chainsaw and I cut a hole in the ice, and the ice is about that thick right now.
Oh no!
That's a terrible. Terrible idea.
We usually do it nicer, Ver. That's kind of a mess. That's my cousin Dallas right there.
Dallas doesn't look happy either.
No. So what we do is we get people, and now it's become a tradition to sort of bring in the new year, and people from all over the lake come over, and
How do you get out?
just pull yourself out.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's also a wood burning. There's an old wood burning sauna that I have right off. You can't see it there, but you jump in that first. You get in the ice for as long as you want, then you jump back into the.
How long do you last in there?
About 2 minutes.
What happens if your back goes out in that ice?
It's good for the back, actually.
Good for the back?
Yeah.
It's not good for our backs.
It's not good for
I think so. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back with Josh. We'll talk about Shotgun Wedding after this. Here we are. I would know it.
Still ahead on Live, Jordan Fisher.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe.
I've just been questioning everything lately. What if the wedding's not perfect? What if your parents never liked me? What does life look like after baseball? But not once did I wonder if I'd be walking handcuffed through the jungle with a live grenade.
I just asked him that question, and then you answered it.
Yes, we were
Your character answered it for me.
So
that was a clip from Shotgun Wedding. Why are you zip-tied?
So these pirates take over the wedding. We're in the Philippines in the movie, and these pirates take over the wedding to sort of take us ransom and get a ransom for my bride. Cheech Marin is her father in trying to get as much money out of him as they can. And the movie is bonkers, man. It is so much fun. It is. It feels like a throwback sort of action, romance, adventure type thing. And Jason Moore, the director, he did such a beautiful job.
But why does everyone say
balancing not only the romance part of it, but the way sort of over the top heightened comedy, which you know me, I love that.
See, this is him promoting the movie. He knows it's bad. This is your job. When he starts stuttering, he did such an awesome job, and what was so great about it was the scenery and the comedy. Yeah, that's what was so good about it. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez's butt in my face.
Bonkers, man! It is so much fun. It is. It feels like a throwback sort of action, romance, adventure type thing, and Jason Moore, the director, he did such a beautiful job of balancing not only the romance part of it, but the way sort of over the top heightened comedy, which you know me, I love that.
Yeah, like Romancing the Stone. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Juliet, right?
Yes, a little bit like that. Yeah, and
a little bit like that. Exactly. Is that a successful movie? Yeah, then we were just like that.
What a great cast, huh?
Yeah. Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, I'm going to go watch a shitty movie because Lenny Kravitz is in it for fucking 4 minutes.
You're Tom, who's a groomzilla, a bit of a groomzilla.
I am a groomzilla. I get. Yeah.
What's a groomzilla?
Well, I didn't know this either until I read the script. I was like, oof. How do I make this guy not look too emasculated? Because he was all about the wedding. But I do have some friends who did the same thing. It was sort of like every detail matters, and it does matter. But normally, it's not the dude.
Were you a groomzilla IRL?
In real life,
I knew that.
Not really. My wife is a much better planner than I am, and I was working, so I didn't really have a chance to.
So you showed up as an honored guest.
I did. It was almost like a surprise party.
That's great.
So there's a boat in the movie that you ended up buying afterwards.
Well, I was eyeing this thing throughout. You'll see this boat at the beginning. It's an old 54 Chris craft.
Wait, did you buy
that's
that
cool.
boat because you thought you looked cool in that
I mean,
picture?
look at that. I look like I'm trying to make a male model.
I
Look
mean,
at that.
honestly,
I'm doing my best.
that's like a male model boat photo.
That's a great. Is it made of wood? So
It's old 54 Chris craft.
Yeah, those are
wood.
great.
It's beautiful, man. And so it's in my shop in Fargo right now, and we're getting it all fixed up
For
for
the
the
lake?
summer. Yeah.
the
So,
lake
you,
melts.
so when will the lake melt?
It depends. Usually around April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's usually April 12th.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Hey, you don't want to jump in the lake until about June, though, because it's still pretty.
They're gonna warm it up.
Okay, trust me, I'm never jumping in that lake.
All right, save the date for Shotgun Wedding, streaming on Prime Video. Great to see you, pal. Congrats on everything.
Thank you, guys.
Coming back from Ginny and Georgia, Brianne Howey after the break.
Monday on Live, Eric McCormick.
so that everyone can pursue their passions joyfully, openly, and proudly.
Sponsored by AARP Chicago.
Our next guest plays a young mother who will do anything, I mean anything, to protect her family
Anything,
in the smash
anything
hit series,
for
Ginny and
you.
Georgia. Please welcome to live, Brianne Howey.
Nice to meet you both. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Thank you. So do you. You look stunning.
So nice to meet you. You grew up in Pasadena. You're
That's
a Cali girl.
That's me.
You
The
fit
Rose
the bill.
Bowl,
Thank you.
the Rose Parade must have been part of your childhood.
That's right. The high school I went to, we were actually obligated to audition to be on the Rose Court. And I didn't even really want to. It wasn't really my thing. But as I kept making it past each round, then suddenly I did want this very badly.
And so were you on the float?
No, I made it to the second to last round. And then my grandma and I were very disappointed.
Well, I guess you showed them, though, didn't you?
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
So you went to NYU, you studied theater there?
Yes, yeah, I did Tisch. I was
They
in
have an
Strasbourg.
excellent theater program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
came
our
to New York
daughter
for the
went
first
there,
time
so
in
we wanna
seventh
say
grade
that our
and
daughter
fell in
went
love
to
with
the greatest school
NYU.
in the
And I knew
world.
that that's exactly where I wanted to go.
Did you have jobs while you were
Because
here in
God
the
forbid
city?
we
while you
don't
were going
send
to
our
school?
daughter to the a place that has excellent programs. Fucking constantly promoting, marketing, public.
Well, I guess you showed them, though, didn't you?
Well, I guess so.
So you went to NYU, you studied theater there?
Yes, yeah, I did Tisch. I was
They
in
have an
Strasbourg.
excellent theater program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came to New York for the first time in seventh grade and fell in love with NYU.
Yeah.
And I knew that that's exactly where I wanted to go.
Did you have jobs while you were here in the city, while you were going to school?
Of course. I was a receptionist at a hair salon. I worked for an acupuncturist. I did
What did you have to say when the phone rang?
I just said the name of the salon, Stuart Hirsch.
Oh, that's great.
Must be an NYU thing. Because my daughter got the job as a shampoo girl at a salon.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
I wouldn't know. I would get water everywhere. I wouldn't want to do that. But the phone I could do.
Yeah.
And what was your first audition for television work?
My first audition ever was for 90210. I went in for Girl in Green.
Oh, Girl in Green.
Yeah.
I remember her.
Thank you so much. I actually was able to walk out and I booked Stacy.
Oh.
So I booked a name.
So you did get on 90210.
I did, yeah.
We have that in common.
Ryan.
I played game show host 1.
I thought you looked familiar. Yeah.
The game show was called Lover's Lane. I'll
But
never
you
forget
were
it.
in the updated 90210, and Ryan was in the vintage version.
What's the difference?
A lot.
Vintage 210.
I just
One
wanted to be
sucks and the
Brandon
other
Walsh.
one
That's
was
all I
great.
wanted in life.
So you were on the show,
Wait a
the
minute. Ryan
Comedy
Seacrest
Central.
just said, I just wanted to date Brandon Walsh. That's all he wanted in life was to date Brandon Walsh.
What's the difference?
Vintage 210.
I just wanted to meet Brandon Walsh. That's all I wanted in life.
So you were on the show that Comedy Central had called I Live with Models, which was like a very popular show not in the United States.
Yeah, so unfortunately,
Such a bummer.
It was my first big series regular role. I was so excited. My family was so excited for me. I got to move to London. I was just beyond thrilled. But then it aired everywhere except for the U.S., so nobody believes that I actually worked on this show.
So when you travel to other countries, though,
it does come up sometimes, actually.
Yeah.
You get a reservation in Paris, right?
Right.
Of course.
Yes,
You also got married during the pandemic?
I did, yes.
Congratulations.
I like this. You are very smart. Now listen, women out there, you should marry one of two kinds of guys. Ready?
A lawyer.
You married an attorney.
I did.
That's a very smart thing.
What's the other kind of guy?
A plastic surgeon.
Oh.
These are the two on the checklist.
Now, were you
These are
drinking
two very
espresso martinis?
That's
in that
exactly
shot?
what it is. How did you know?
Well, I could tell. It looks like a espresso martini.
Espresso martini.
So does he read your contracts before you sign them?
He's not an entertainment lawyer,
but he still understands the
100%.
contracts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I run everything by him. He's actually a family of lawyers, so hey.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
great.
So
Any entertainment lawyers within the family?
No, actually.
Okay, well,
But they're
somebody's going to have
friends
to get on that.
Would save me a little bit of money if someone could.
Yeah, of
And
course.
you guys love to travel, I hear, yeah?
Love traveling.
Where's your favorite?
spot?
We just we did a very delayed honeymoon, and we did Amsterdam, Paris, and Berlin in September, which was really fun. This is Aruba,
Oh,
which
look at
was
that. Beautiful.
a dream come true. I'd never been there before. And it's like a picture.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh. We're going to be right back after this with Brianne Howey to talk about Ginny and Georgia. Stay with us. Ooh, I want it.
If you love watching our show from home, now's your chance to see us live and in person. Come join the fun. Check out all the stars and be part of Live with Kelly and Mark's studio audience. Visit our website and get your tickets now.
People are
Our approach to better living is simple. Create beautiful, custom-built storage solutions that will fit your budget. Visit closetsbydesign.com to learn about our special 0% financing.
Good work.
AC's on the fritz.
You're tuning up for summer. Have you tuned up your AC? Help is just around the corner. Call AV.
So happy.
Dump to the dump to the dump, dump, dump.
I left that bathroom and I saw this group of kids, and they were so happy. They didn't have a care in the world. They wore nice clothes and they were smiling, and they were loved. You could tell these kids were loved. They were taken care of. They were my age, but they were loved, and I wasn't. And I decided right then and there, you were never going to be like me. You were going to be like them.
By the way, I'm from Georgia. That's a very good Southern accent.
I didn't know you were from Georgia.
That's right. So-
I'm always so fascinated when I hear the accents in television, versus the real voice.
Right.
Is it hard to snap out of?
Once I get into character with Georgia, no, not at all. Not really.
Really?
Season 1, we had a dialect coach who was super helpful, but by season 2, we sort of just dove right in. And it's so Georgia. Now I can't do Georgia without it.
Because Georgia is very different than Texas, than South Carolina. Like they're all very have their own
super
sound.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what y'all up to in this series?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's a mother-daughter coming-of-age story where the mother's definitely coming of age just as much as the daughter is. And we get to talk about a lot of nuance, heavier subjects, but we also have a lot of fun together. And I think it's a really, really wild ride.
I like the way Don Ogle, your producer, described her to me, because it's like it's everything happening all at once everywhere. But it's like a good mom, criminal, a liar.
She's complex. It's a complex
scammer,
dynamic,
heroin.
you know? Yeah.
But it's like all of these things.
Yeah. She's human. It brings all of our humanity to life. There's a lot of gray area. And I think that's why so many people are responding to
But this is the show where so many people are saying, have you seen it yet? You've got to see it. It's got such great word of mouth. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. I was so excited to get to do this.
Thank
And
you.
we, not as excited as we were. Will there be a season 3?
We don't know yet. But
Well, let's
We're
announce
betting on it.
Okay.
Ginny and Georgia seasons 1 and 2 and soon to be 3, I'm sure, streaming now on Netflix.
Tuesday on Live, Nina Dobrev.
This is our premium platinum coverage map, and this is Consumer Cellular's map. See the difference?
No, I don't see the difference. Do you?
Well, that one's purple. Exactly. That's our premium.
What does that mean?
I think it means it costs more.
For the same coverage.
That's what makes it premium. That doesn't make sense, does it? No, but it is premium. I'd just go with Consumer Cellular. Got to say, get the exact same coverage as the nation's leading carriers, starting at $20. Consumer Cellular.
Special report.
Stakes decisions that will have lasting impact.
That's why they showed a rerun, is because they were probably doing a live episode and they had a special report and they said, well, let's just nix the whole episode and we'll just film a rerun and then we'll edit the special report into the rerun.
This is an ABC News special report.
Good morning, I'm Whit Johnson. We're coming on the air because the Supreme Court has just handed down its final major rulings of the term. 24 hours after striking down affirmative action, the justices have now issued a significant decision concerning President Biden's student debt relief plan and a crucial ruling involving LGBTQ rights and free speech, both high-stakes decisions that will have lasting impact on millions of Americans across the country. We do begin here with the justices striking down President Biden's controversial student debt relief plan that would forgive student debts for more than 43 million Americans at a cost of $400 billion. 2 lawsuits challenge the legality of that plan. Let's go ahead and bring in ABC's senior national correspondent, Terry Moran. Terry, break down the decision. And a lot of this had to do with the Biden administration overstepping its authority.
That's right. And this is a huge case. As you say, 43 million people were eligible for up to $10,000 of debt relief under this program. The Supreme Court strikes that down because it says that President Biden and his Secretary of Education exceeded the authority that the law passed by Congress gave them. What the administration had tried to do was waive or modify the terms of the loan by forgiving the debt altogether. And what the Supreme Court says here, that is beyond the power of the president. Only Congress can waive that much debt, $400 billion, that it is such a large amount and such a sweeping assertion of presidential authority to modify the terms of the loans that way, that it exceeds presidential power, that Biden acted beyond his powers. In this opinion, the court saying, Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the 6 conservatives on this court, saying that the administration had asserted the authority to cancel $430 billion of student loan principal, that they had the authority to do that. It does not, is what the court says, that is a major question for Congress to answer. So this is a blow to all of those people across the country who were hoping that the Biden plan that had been announced last year to forgive these debts would be approved by the Supreme Court. It's not. The only place that the court says that can be done is Congress passing a law to forgive that much debt.
Terry, thank you. And stay with us here. Let's bring in ABC's senior Washington reporter, Devin Dwyer, because Devin, just for a little bit more clarity here, there were 2 separate cases. There were a couple people who brought their case forward, and it had to do with fairness. But at the end of the day, it was the rights of the states, and those states that challenged this, they're the ones who prevail.
Yeah, 6 Republican-led states brought the challenge to the Biden student debt relief plan. That's a significant subheadline here. The court affirming the ability of Missouri and others to sue the Biden administration to block this plan on a rather tenuous basis. The court today saying that because Mohila, which is the nation's largest student loan servicer, is based in Missouri, it has ties to Missouri. Effectively, it gave Missouri what's called standing, the ability to bring this case. Mohila, of course, would have suffered significant losses on its books if the Biden administration erased all those loans. So the court today said it would be impacted, Missouri would be impacted. But the bottom line in all of this, with students, with all of that debt on their hands, federal student loan debt will soon have to begin repaying those loans. There's been a moratorium on federal student loans for the past 3 years. The administration says those payments will now resume this fall. But good news for critics of this plan and those concerned taxpayers who are worried about the price tag of this proposal.
Yeah, it's been a real roller coaster for the students out there hoping to get some relief. Let's bring in Kate Shaw, our ABC News Supreme Court contributor. And Kate, part of the problem for the administration was the scope and scale of this plan.
That's right, Whit. So it's undeniably a very large plan and program, but the administration defended that size and scope by basically saying, look, Congress passed a statute giving the administration, the Secretary of Education in particular, the power to waive or modify the provisions of student loans in the face of a national emergency. And Justice Elena Kagan, writing the dissenting opinion for herself and the 2 other Democratic appointees, basically said Congress gave the administration this power and the court should not second guess based on its vision of what fairness looks like or how much relief is too much, congressional judgment to give agencies that power and the way the agency exercised that power. So in some ways, it's really a debate about the role of the court in second guessing policy judgments by both Congress and by administration agencies.
Kate, thank you. Let's bring in Mary Bruce, our chief White House correspondent, who's joining me here in the studio in New York. This obviously a huge loss for the Biden administration. How are they reacting now?
This is a huge blow to the president. This was a major campaign pledge that he made and was hoping to be able to fulfill. A source inside the White House telling me they strongly disagree with the court's decision. The question is what comes next. This White House has been very hesitant to discuss any plan B. They thought clearly that this court decision was going to be their best shot at fulfilling that promise. But the White House is telling me now that the president is going to come out and speak on this later today and that he is prepared for this scenario, that he will be announcing new steps. The question is how sweeping will those steps be? Because, of course, there's only so much that the president himself can do. There are some possibilities here, though. The president can, I suspect you will hear him discuss his other student debt relief plan. This is a plan that he already put out several months ago. It's an income-driven repayment plan that would essentially cap the amount that a federal student loan borrower has to repay to 5% of their discretionary income, down from 10%. It is also possible that he could try and enact some kind of grace period on those repayments that Devin was talking about. They're set to begin again in October based on that debt deal that was agreed to a couple months ago. The question is, can he give people a little bit more breathing room here? Again, that's a solution that would just kick this down the road. One more thing, the president is going to make very clear, I'm told, that Republicans are to blame for this. He's going to try and pin this squarely on them as we head into the election.
Yeah, a message he hopes to take to the people to try to gain votes, but only so much he can do legally moving forward. Mary Bruce, thank you so much. We do want to pivot now to the other big ruling that we got this morning, handed down. This is the ruling on free speech case involving a familiar challenge here. The question, whether businesses can refuse service to LGBTQ customers because doing so would violate the business owner's First Amendment rights. This was a 6-3 decision. The Supreme Court rules for a Christian web designer who objected to making wedding websites for same-sex couples. And we're going to go back to Devin Dwyer on this one because, Devin, we've seen cases like this before the court, but this one much more sweeping and broad.
A significant and sweeping decision and surprising many of us who have covered the court on this issue from some time. You know, the First Amendment prohibits the government from forcing any of us from saying anything we don't want to say. At the same time, civil rights laws in this country say that businesses that are open to the public have to serve everybody. But what the court said today is that businesses in some cases can refuse to serve certain customers if doing so would force them to say something they don't want to say, like a business who designs websites, a stationer, maybe even someone who is landscaping your yard. If that is an expressive, customized, and tailored service, Neil Gorsuch said that the government cannot force you to do that business with someone that you don't want to do business with or something you don't want to say. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who was in the dissent with the three liberal justices, said this is the first time in history, in her words, that the Supreme Court has granted a right to businesses open to the public to refuse to serve a member of a protected class. She says this decision threatens to balkanize the marketplace and even with, in her view, could allow some businesses to refuse to serve, say, interracial couples simply because if doing so would force the business owner to say something they didn't want to say. So a striking and sweeping opinion. Justice Neil Gorsuch didn't articulate the limiting principle, if you will, for this this decision. And so it's certainly going to invite much more litigation down the line.
Evan, as you mentioned, the lack of limits as they're spelled out or not spelled out here raises a lot of questions going forward. It is worth noting that, again, what Sotomayor said in her dissent, she says, in her view, this allows a web designer to refuse to serve interracial couples if such a designer opposed interracial marriage. So, again, raising a lot of questions here going forward. Let's bring back Kate Shaw. And, Kate, legally, what does this mean for businesses and customers?
You know, this really is, I think, an enormous change. Justice Sotomayor, I think, is quite right in her dissent. You know, these public accommodation laws have a lengthy historical pedigree. They've been part of our federal laws for over 70 years. And in most states and localities, there are similar laws. And they just say that if you're a business and you provide goods or services to the public, you can't discriminate. And in recent years, discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and sometimes gender identity has also been prohibited in many places, including in Colorado. And until now, the Supreme Court has never said that one of those laws violates the First Amendment rights of a business or business owner who wishes to refuse service to some category of customers. So I do think that Devin is exactly right that this case has potentially sweeping ramifications for the ability of business owners under some circumstances to provide services and to the ability of customers, I should say, to receive services on a non-discriminatory basis, you know, in the public square. And it's not something that the Supreme Court has ever blessed. As long as we've had public accommodation laws, there have been objections, sometimes religiously grounded objections, and the court has never sided with those, has always upheld these laws. And so this is a very significant and I think very new rule the court has set forth today.
All right, Kate, thank you. I want to bring back Mary Bruce here because, Mary, now we have two losses as they could be perceived for President Biden. Only so much he can do, but again, a message that he would take to the voters.
Exactly, and we haven't heard yet from the president in response to this case. I suspect he will speak out forcefully against this. Of course, Joe Biden is someone who has spoken passionately about how everyone deserves to be treated equally with dignity and respect, no matter who you love. His administration has already passed new federal protections for same-sex couples, the Respect for Marriage Act. And of course, this is Joe Biden, someone who led a real national political transformation on the issue of same-sex marriage, coming out in 2012, surprising many with his support for same-sex marriage. There was a watershed moment in this country, as you recall, then forcing then President Obama to come out and do the same. But again, this is an issue where this administration, the Biden campaign, is going to hope to mobilize voters, drive them to the polls next November.
Mary, thank you. Let's bring back Terry Moran here because, Terry, we had affirmative action yesterday. We had these cases today. This is another defining moment for the Supreme Court and its conservative majority.
It sure is. And you see how much elections matter, right? Since these three justices appointed by Donald Trump have taken the bench, you've seen how fast and far the court can go. Abortion rights, gone. Affirmative action, gone. Today, a traditional understanding of public accommodation. If you hold out your business as a public business open to all, you must serve all. The court limiting that today on the basis of free speech rights, and there's more to come. This is clearly a Supreme Court with the bit between its teeth, with the conservative majority not just in charge, but really eager to reach out and accomplish goals the conservative movement has had for decades. We're seeing the impact in law and in life in this country, and they aren't done yet by a long shot.
And two more major decisions at the Supreme Court. Terry Moran, thank you, and our entire team of contributors here. Of course, our coverage continues on ABC News Live and abcnews.com. I'll be right back here with the entire team for World News Tonight. For now, I'm Whit Johnson in New York. Have a great day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Oh, still all these years later. But when you cook a potato, it actually absorbs some water. And when you cool the potato and make a potato salad, it turns into a starch crystal that acts like fiber. It slows the rate of blood sugar into your bloodstream, of glucose into your bloodstream. And it also stimulates hunger hormones, appetite hormones to slow down, like, I'm done, I'm done.
So it tells you that you're done.
Yes. So then you consume this either cold or room temperature, but you can't even reheat it because that resistant starch will stay put.
The chemistry is
amazing. It's chemistry. Yeah, it's really cool. This may be familiar to you, but it's wintertime, so it's worth repeating. You know, sometimes in the winter, the fresh tomatoes, not that great, you know. Don't forget the canned... fiber. It slows the rate of blood sugar into your bloodstream, of glucose into your bloodstream, and it also stimulates hunger hormones, appetite hormones to slow down, like, I'm done, I'm done.
So it tells you that you're done.
Yes. So then you consume this either cold or room temperature, but you can't even reheat it because that resistant starch will stay put.
The chemistry is amazing.
It's chemistry. Yeah, it's really cool. This may be familiar to you, but it's wintertime, so it's worth repeating. You know, sometimes in the winter, the fresh tomatoes, not that great, you know. Don't forget the jarred, the tomato paste. They have high levels of lycopene. When tomatoes are cooked, it increases lycopene, which is important for heart health, prostate health in men. It's also a photoprotector nutrient. That means that it gives some natural SPF on your skin as well. So don't forget those kinds.
That's amazing. Okay.
And right here we have pasta. Eat your leftovers. You can eat leftover pasta. Okay, so the idea is that similar to the potatoes, when you cook the pasta, it starts absorbing the water, creates resistant starch when you cool it. You reheat it, and that resistant starch stays put. And by the way, the glycemic index on pasta isn't as high as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Nutrition synergy is about foods that are good for you already, but you put them together, it amplifies. Okay?
Exponential.
Yeah. Well, the classic example is beans and rice, of course. Beans and rice. They are a quintessential classic because grains and legumes both have a limiting amino acid, but they both replace it for each other when they're put together. The research has dispelled, it's been a myth for decades that you actually have to eat them together. You can eat them over the course of 24 hours if you want, but they're so delicious. And there isn't a culture in the world that doesn't put some kind of grain and legume, pasta fajoule, a taco shell and beans, lentil, dal and rice. Around the world, we have this. This is a great way to maximize your nutrition. Plus, for those of you who are like experimenting with intermittent fasting or not getting 3 meals a day, sometimes putting them together really makes sense as well.
So this is like the peanut butter and jelly of 2023.
Yes, and peanut butter and whole grain bread is another example. So there you go.
You are like a star student. Okay, leafy greens and avocados.
Leafy greens and avocados. Okay, just as you predicted at the opening, but for a new reason. All right, avocados, when they're paired with a leafy green like kale, they increase the carotenoids, again, these skin health, immune system function, eye health properties in the leafy greens by up to 400%.
You said eye health?
Eye health,
Just can I read the prompter?
Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, it'll improve over time.
They need to come up with a better word than carotenoid.
Carotenoid. I know it's a tricky word. It's a plant nutrient.
Good to know that.
Phytonutrient.
Yeah.
But the idea here also is that avocados also are fats, healthy fats, as we well know, all those other things. But they also increase the absorption of vitamin K, an important nutrient for our bone health as well.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, here's another one. Greens, but spinach, for example, and citrus or mangoes. This is vitamin C plus your spinach. So there's a lot of sources of iron. I've already mentioned it, with the cast iron. A lot of sources of iron that aren't quite available to us when we eat them, or as maximized as they can. If you squeeze lemons, and there is no excuse for not squeezing lemons because there's seedless ones available now that you just squeeze. There's no excuse for not squeeze lemons on your greens or make a smoothie. I've got a great smoothie recipe called the Trappist SoCal, because I'm from Southern California. Smoothie with mango and leafy greens. It increases the plant iron in your diet. Plus, it gives you a great source of vitamin C.
I squeeze lemon on everything because, frankly, it just tastes better with lemon on it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like an exclamation point.
It is.
I feel like it's the exclamation point on a meal.
Green tea?
Yeah.
Green tea. All right, so here's another one. This is incredible research. We know green tea is good for us. It's got EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Say that by there you go. There's your chemistry word.
EGCG.
It can rub the metabolism. It helps with fat burning. But when citrus, vitamin C is added to it. So think lemon in your tea, it increases the catechins by 500%. So it helps with the absorption of those catechins as well, which is pretty cool.
I love when my catechins are absorbed.
Yes.
Times 5.
Indeed.
Okay.
The pear.
All right, the pear. So we're done with the pairings, and now we're looking at time. And this is about ripening. There's some really interesting research about pears. Well, first of all, pears you should ripen at room temperature. But as they ripen, on the skin of the pear is an important antioxidant. They're called NCCs. I'm not going to tell you that one today.
Okay.
It's a little complicated. But antioxidants get higher as you ripen. So eat ripened pears, poach your pears, enjoy your pears. You make sure you ripen them and ripen them at room temperature.
Okay, bananas.
On the other hand, slightly underripe and greener bananas have higher resistant
So
starch.
eat them when they
Fiber
have some
again.
green.
A little green. Yeah, I mean, you want them to be edible,
Right.
palatable,
But still
delicious.
You don't want them to be too full of sugar that you're using it for banana bread.
Exactly. Or use that for banana bread and use it as a dessert. But when you're eating your bananas, slightly greener, and it'll have a lower blood sugar effect. And good nutrition overall and potassium, as we know.
What about this over here?
Finally, I want to remind everyone that eating in season is also eating out of season in season.
I see.
So is this complicated?
So you mean taking the frozen bag of veggies and steaming them, and you can still have them?
Yes, absolutely. Because, I mean, think about it. When did they pick these vegetables to go in the jars?
When they were in season.
When they're in season.
Right.
So whether you're doing it at home yourself, don't forget that this is what the farmers do, and that they bring them into the frozen, the canned, and lower sugar, lower sodium, pick good quality. But that's a great way to amplify your nutrition.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you for this. Dr. Wendy, always great to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Be right back.
Live will return in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored in part by.
What you're doing is not just hurting you. If you can't make up your mind to quit for yourself.
Quit for your boyfriend, or he'll fuck your sister. Now we're going to do the long, dragged out outro again with the credits. End credits over all the Skyline shot. Whoa, what the hell happened?
The views.
I'm sorry, did I miss something? Oh, guys, that was quick. All right, you guys, that's the end of the show. Goodbye.
Pulling an infant, Thundershirt applies constant, gentle pressure to a dog or cat's torso. Available at these and other retailers. Buy now before July 4th.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend.
Monday on Live, it's an all-new show with Eric McCormack and TikTok star Shannon Doherty gets you ready for the 4th of July.
Is that Kelly Ripa in the black pants?
With Eric McCormack and TikTok star Shannon Doherty gets you ready for the 4th of July.
Cost of window replacement. Repair, don't replace with Apex Window Works. Call now or go online for your free quote. ABC 7 proudly celebrates Pride Month.
The View starts right now. All of the hottest topics America's talking about are on the table. Plus, Ellie Kemper and Deborah Roberts. Here come Hot Topics with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Anna Navarro, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Alyssa Farah Griffin. Now, let's get things started.
Pepper spray. Like many women, Melissa was no.
All right, you guys. That's the end of the episode. I got here. You want to see what I'm on? This is mac and cheese with chopped up barbecue ribs and some fried onion straws. So that episode was episode, what, 55? And we had an interruption from, it probably wasn't 55. I don't know. Let me know. I already put it in, so it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. Plus, it's the end of the show. No one's watching anyway. But we had interrupted. Special report, breaking news, Washington, D.C., U.S. Supreme Court ruled this, ruled that, something about college loans and something about colleges and also rights. Yeah, what else? It's always about rights. Anyways, so you didn't see the whole episode. Neither did I. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can't even go. I mean, are you able to go to like an official like Kelly and Ryan page and see the whole show? I don't know. Anyway, now I'm talking with my mouth full. How rude am I? So, plus I think this was a rerun. This was a bad episode. I really didn't even pay that much attention to it. Got caught up making mac and cheese, taking pictures for my cooking channel. Alan Karaoke. I cook and I sing. Check it out. ALAN karaoke. All one word. All right, guys, I got to go. Mac and cheese is getting cold, and I'm gassy. And sometimes that gas turns into a liquid form. You know what I mean? Shit my pants.